Father, please take me higher in thinking revelation and
I told you
spiritual
tonight
fire.
to come into this month, which is known, a month of February, which is known as Black History Month. But as the YHWH moved our Rod Makai last year to call it as it is, black is a color. You say call it as the nation who they are. It is Ibryi. Ibryi is Hebrew History Month. It is our history. That book called the Bible is our history, people. It's people, as the ark would say, people that look like me and you. Praise be to the mighty Yah. You can also view us on CAN TV, channel 36, and Evanston TV, channel 6, and on the web, www.yandyspeak.org or www.yandyspeak.com. You can also find us on YouTube. Praise be to the mighty Yah. So this is, Yah had put this lesson, you know, to bring to our history month. So it's our month. Is the title of it is Yisrael, my people. But the subtitle we're going to talk about today, the Promised Land. And the Promised Land, as you may have heard from different people, the Promised Land, yes, there is a Promised Land. And it was promised to us, Yisrael. Praise be to the mighty Yah. So, you know, I'm going to have to start off to being Hebrew month. We're going to start off with to show who Yahweh is talking about, who these people, who they look like. We're going to go to Amos chapter 9. Amos chapter 9, verse 7. Amos chapter 9. And I'm Yahshua, your speaker that Yahweh had me to bring forth is Debar, and reading is Akah Zahara Dara. Praise Yahweh. It's an honor to stand here before you and Yahweh, this Layil. So, Amos chapter 9, verse 7, and it reads Akah whenever you have it.
Are ye not as children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Yisrael, saith Yahweh? Have not I brought up Yisrael out of the land of Mizraim, and the Philistines from Captor, and the Syrians from Ker?
Praise the mighty Yah. This is what is here, people. This is what it say. He said, you know, are you not like the children of Israel? Meaning, don't you look like them? And everyone know what Ethiopians look like. Dark people like me and you. He knew throughout the ages that these different nationalities were going to move in, because he took us out of the land and we was moved out, pushed out, and other ones came in. They would take on those type Egyptians and all that. But Yah, everything, he knew them was one people that wasn't going to be, and not too many people want to be no Ethiopians. Praise be to Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. And this is going to put us off. You know, the dark people in as the ark say, United Snakes of America, and then all that scattered around the air, that came on the slave ship. This is us, Yahweh. I mean, people that, you know, there are people still that still, you know, like to have our identity, but they can't hold to this truth, that they came to this on this boat, this ship.
Right.
This is us. Here we go. We're gonna go to Deuteronomy 28, Deuteronomy 28, 63 to 68, and it reads whenever you have it. Deuteronomy 28, 63 to 68. Praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
This is the defined thing here that lets you know who Yah is talking about. He called his people the true Yisrael. And it reads the card whenever you have it.
Deuteronomy 28:63. And it shall come to pass that as Yahweh rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so Yahweh will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. 64. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
That says it right there.
Say it, brother.
There it is right there.
Yeah.
We don't need, it said, thus says Yahweh. He's going to scatter you from one end. We everywhere. We all around everywhere. In China, Japan, we everywhere.
That's right.
Praise be to the mighty Yah. This is for our disobedient ancestors.
Yeah.
God, we in a condition today. Continue our car.
And there thou shalt serve other Elohims, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Look at that. Wood and stone. That's what you all doing now under that Roman Christian doctrine. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
That's it. Wood and stone. That's what you shocker into. Shocker worshiping. Praise the mighty Yah. Continue our car.
65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of the eyes, and sorrow of mind.
Yisrael, so-called African American black people, this is us. We find no ease in this United States of America, right? You all have trembling of pain and failing of eyes and sorrow, all that. Continue our car.
66. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. 67. In the morning thou shalt say, would Elohim it were evening. And at even thou shalt say, would Elohim it were morning. Amen. For the fear of thy heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thy eyes which thou shalt see. 68. And Yahweh shall bring thee into Mizraim again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Praise the mighty Yah. Our Chanak, brothers and sisters, this is where you got to look for people in this condition today. And then when he said go into, we buy no more. We've been enslaved. We had lessons. It was Israel, homeborn slave. Yes, we always been enslaved, disobedient to our Yahweh. And this is where he said you be bad no more. He used to free us and all that. Return us, we repent, return. Still today, you repent one by one. He doing. But this is what you got to look for: people in a condition that what the Abba Yahweh says there, that say who is true. Little Kaya Yisrael. Praise to the mighty Yah. I want to like the Ethiopians. I want to go to Strong's Concordance 3568, and this remind me, tickled me a few years ago. Our Micaiah about the Strong. He showed me how to use it. And one day we, after the lesson was over, we were sitting there at the congregate, and I asked him some word, and he said, "Man, you got it in the back of your Bible." What he was doing, he was bringing me from that Babe Debar to the Sasib Debar, meaning as his Ishshah, our Ra Shalom is doing the lesson. Study thyself. He was saying, now I brought you up. Now it's on you. It's for you to study. You go do it. So praise be to the Mount for our Ra Micaiah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Thank you.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Yes.
And so this is in Storm Concordance Exhausted. The word Cush, 3568. I just wanted to, let you know, because people kind of know that who Cush is black and all that, so that was the thing of aiming. So it reads, Cush is Cush or Ethiopian. So there it gives you right there. The name of the son of Ham. And that's that there. So let's go to I don't know. So we're gonna go into the lesson now. It's called, well, the title of the whole lesson, the whole month is Yisrael, my people. But the subtitle is the promised land. Who he promised Yisrael is us, the so-called African American black man, and all everybody else that's scattered around the area. We're gonna be in the book of YHWH, because this is telling how he did, and we're gonna see how Yah did would stay. We didn't have to fight battle like today. You just stand under the bars of dust, says Yahweh,
Right.
and he fights it for us. He said the battle is his. A lot of Roman Christians like quoting that. And the battle not ours, his. But so let's start it off with let's go to YHWH. First chapter 1. Oh no, I know. Before we go there, I wanted to go to Deuteronomy 34, 9 to 10. Deuteronomy 34, 9 to 10. And it 9 to 12. Deuteronomy 34, 9 to 12. And it reads a card whenever you have it.
Deuteronomy 34, verse 9. And Yahshua, the son of Nun, was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moshe had laid his hands upon him, and the children of Israel hearkened unto him, and did as Yahweh commanded Moshe. 10. And there arose not a prophet since in Israel like unto Moshe, whom Yahweh knew face to face. 11. In all the signs and the wonders which Yahweh sent him to do in the land of Mizraim, to Pharaoh and to all his servants and to all his land. 12. And in all that mighty hand and in all the great terror which Moshe showed in the sight of all Yisrael.
Praise Yahweh. This is the setup so Yahshua become the man of Yah after Moshe. But like it was saying, as some people think the Ruach HaKodesh started in the new, what did it say? He was full of the Haruach of Kokma, for Moshe had laid his hand, because Moshe had the Kokma the Ruach HaKodesh Yah had given him. So he was all in power. And then like it was saying, and there arose not another 90 cents in Israel like unto Moshe, whom Yahweh Yada face to face. Praise be to the mighty God. This is the setup that Moses was ready to die, and Yahshua was coming to become the leader, and so Yah wanted him to step up and lead his people into the promised land. So now let's go start it at YHWH, chapter 1, verses 1 and 2, and it reads a cop whenever you have it.
Joshua 1 and 1. Now after the death of Moshe, the servant of Yahweh, it came to pass that Yahweh spake unto Yahshua, the son of Nun, Moshe's minister, saying, 2. Moshe, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Yisrael.
See, this is Yah talking to you. Hey, you know, like our Makai had passed on. It was, you know, his Ishshah is but it was that he got to keep it moving, you know. Y'all, you got to keep moving. Y'all has a vision that he wants you to complete. You just don't be wimpy and stay in that summer. He wants his work to be done. Praise the mighty Yah. He was saying this was Yah talking to him direct. He talks to us direct too, people. Praise Yahweh. Okay, let's see. What was that? Let's go to the second chapter, 1 verses 1 to 4, and it reads, whenever you have it.
Joshua chapter 2, verse 1. And Yahshua, the son of Nun, sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, Go view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into a harlot's house named Rahab, and lodged there. 2. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, Behold, there came men in hither tonight of the children of Yisrael to search out the country. 3. And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, Bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thine house, for they be come to search out all the country. 4. And the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and said thus, There came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were.
Praise Yahweh. This is Yahshua on the command of Yah, which Moshe was promised, the promised land. So they going to do what thus says Yahweh. This is our land. You are when you come spiritual is Nabuah to come. And you come spiritual air and you awaken on that wonderful day. Yahshua come back in his kingdom now. We'll be back over there. Praise Yahweh. Let's skip down to verses 8 to 12. And it reads whenever you.
Verse 8. And before they were laid down, she came up unto them upon the roof. 9. And she said unto the men, I know that Yahweh hath given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you.
Praise Yah. Y'all see that? See that? Yah had promised them. They knew. They were fearful. That's how it is. You walk with Yah, people will fear you. It's a known fact. Praise be to Yahweh. Continue.
10. For we have heard how Yahweh dried up the water of the Red Sea for you, when ye came out of Mizraim, and what ye did unto the 2 kings of the Amorites that were on the other side of Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. 11. And as soon as we had heard these things, our hearts did melt, neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For Yahweh your Elohim, he is Elohim in heaven above and in earth beneath.
This woman recognized. She recognized the true and Kaya Elohim, which is behind Yisrael. When you return to him, he's for everyone, but he comes for his peoples first. So they be Yahweh to the other goes. Praise Yahweh. Continue.
12. Now therefore I pray you, swear unto me by Yahweh, since I have showed you kindness, that ye will also show kindness unto my father's house, and give me a true token.
Praise Yahweh. See, when Yahweh has something for you, it's for you. It's a promise.
Amen.
This is called the promised land. This is a promise to Israel, me and you, people of dark color. Skip down to verse 14.
14. And the men answered her, Our life for yours, if we utter not this our business. And it shall be, when Yahweh hath given us the land, that we will deal kindly and truly with thee.
Praise Yahweh. See, they knew Yahweh was going to give it to me. Why? Because he told them before, and that's why Moshe couldn't come up. Because out of the 12 spies, only 10 came back with a good report. So those that lived past it, they knew this time they were ready. Praise the mighty Yah. Let's go to chapter 3, read verses 1 to 5, Akaf, whenever you have it. Praise Yahweh.
And Yahshua, chapter 3, verse 1. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and they removed from Shittim and came to Jordan, he and all the children of Israel, and lodged there before they passed over. Verse 2. And it came to pass after 3 days that the officers went through the host. Verse 3. And they commanded the people, saying, When ye see the ark of the covenant of Yahweh your Elohim, and the priests, the Levites bearing it, then ye shall move from your place and go after it. Verse 4. Yet there shall be a space between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by measure. Come not near unto it, that ye may know the way by which ye must go. For ye have not passed this way heretofore. Verse 5. And Joshua said unto the people, Sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow Yahweh will do wonders among you.
Praise Yahweh. See that? You get with Yahweh, like I say, this life here is when we get up not knowing what the day will bring, but we know this. Y'all gonna see us through it, and that's what he does. Praise the mighty Yah. Skip down to verse 9 to 11. And it reads whenever you have it. Praise Yahweh.
Chapter 3, verse 9. And Yahshua said unto the children of Israel, Come hither and hear the words of Yahweh your Elohim. Verse 10. And Yahshua said, Hereby ye shall know that the living Elohim is among you, and that he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Hivites, and the Perizzites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Jebusites. Verse 11. Behold, the ark of the covenant of Yahweh of all the earth passeth over before you.
Praise the mighty Yah. This people, this is our history before these shores of United States of America. This was us. This is how we was living and doing things.
That's right.
You know, when we was obedience to Yah.
Right.
We had it. We had it all and have it now.
Yeah.
Individually, we turn it
back.
thus says Yahweh.
Yes.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Hallelujah.
This is our history. This is not a religion book. This is the history book. All the other goees had their history book. This is ours. That's why they want to keep it from the old. It lets you know who you are. Praise be to Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Let's go chapter 4, verses 1 to 3. And it reads whenever you have it.
Chapter 4, verse 1. And it came to pass when all the people were clean passed over Jordan, that Yahweh spake unto Yahshua, saying, Take you 12 men out of the people, out of every tribe a man. 3. And command ye them, saying, Take you hence out of the midst of Jordan, out of the place where the priest's feet stood firm, 12 stones, and ye shall carry them over with you, and leave them in the lodging place where ye shall lodge this night.
Okay, that's it. 4, 1 and 3. Okay, let's skip down to verses 6 to 7. It reads whenever you have it.
Chapter 4, verse 6. That this may be a sign among you, that when your children ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What mean ye by these stones? Verse 7. Then ye shall answer them that the waters of Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of Yahweh. When it passed over Jordan, the waters of Jordan were cut off, and these stones shall be for a memorial unto the children of Israel forever.
Praise the mighty Yah. See, everybody knew about the Red Sea. This is part of it too.
Yeah.
Praise the mighty Yah. Hallelujah. And this would have been a verbal memorial for us if our ancestors would have been obedience, it was cut off from us. So only way he had it written down for us, y'all. Praise the mighty Yah. So open the book for yourself. Study thyself to prove to Yahweh.
Yeah.
Let's skip down to verses 11 to 19 and read the cop whenever you have it.
Chapter 4, verse 11. And it came to pass, when all the people were clean passed over, that the ark of Yahweh passed over, and the priests in the presence of the people. Verse 12. And the children of Reuben, and the children of Gad, and half the tribe of Manasseh, passed over, armed before the children of Israel, as Moshe spake unto them. Verse 13. About 40,000 prepared for war.
Wow, y'all hear that?
That's right.
They was going ready to roll. They was
Yeah.
going to do some battle. They going to do some killing. Like y'all, as y'all know, as you know, Yeshua in the New Testament, y'all say gentle and lamb. This is him. You know, like he said, no one has seen the Father. This is him.
Yeah.
You think you hear how he was here? Wait till he come back this second coming. Get prepared, people.
Yeah.
Praise Yahweh.
Yeah.
Continue.
Verse 13. About 40,000 prepared for war passed over before Yahweh unto battle, to the plains of Jericho. Verse 14. On that day, Yahweh magnified Yahshua in the sight of all Israel, and they feared him as they feared Moshe all the days of his life. Verse 15. And Yahweh spake unto Yahshua, saying, verse 16, command the priests that bear the ark of the testimony that they come up out of Jordan. Verse 17. Yahshua therefore commanded the priests, saying, come ye up out of Jordan. Verse 18. And it came to pass, when the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh were come up out of the midst of Jordan, and the soles of the priests' feet were lifted up onto the dry land, that the waters of Jordan returned unto their place, and flowed over all his banks, as they did before. Verse 19. And the people came up out of Jordan on the 10th day of the first month, and encamped in Gilgal, in the east border of Jericho.
Praise our Yahweh. Let's go to chapter 5, verses 1 and 2, and it reads a card whenever you have. Hallelujah.
Joshua chapter 5, verse 1. And it came to pass, when all the kings of the Amorites, which were on the side of Jordan westward, and all the kings of the Canaanites, which were by the sea, heard that Yahweh had dried up the waters of Jordan from before the children of Israel, until we were passed over, that their heart melted. Neither was their spirit in them any more, because of the children of Israel. Verse 2. At that time Yahweh said unto Yahshua, make these sharp knives, and circumcise again the children of Israel the second time.
Praise Yahweh. This is a covenant already. You are, when you come into the fold of Yahweh, you will love what is SABBATH.
Yeah.
Now, when Yahweh says something is SABBATH, it's a command. It's not, you know, yeah, I can pass it, I can do it, or don't do it. No, it's a command. Praise Yahweh. Skip down to verses 4 to 6, and it reads whenever you have it.
Verse 4. And this is the cause why Yahshua did circumcise all the people that came out of Mizraim, that were males, even all the men of war, died in the wilderness by the way after they came out of Mizraim. Verse 5. Now all the people that came out were circumcised, but all the people that were born in the wilderness by the way as they came forth out of Mizraim, them they had not circumcised. Verse 6. For the children of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness, till all the people that were men of war, which came out of Mizraim, were consumed, because they obeyed not the voice of Yahweh, unto whom Yahweh sware that he would not show them the land which Yahweh sware unto their fathers, that he would give us a land that floweth with milk and honey.
Praise the mighty Yah. That's what it is. See, you got cut off with disobedience. You must obey Yah. It's a must. Praise the mighty Yah. Skip down to verses 9 to 15. And it reads whenever you have it.
Okay. Chapter 5, verse 9. And Yahweh said unto Yahshua, this day have I rolled away the reproach of Mizraim from off you. Wherefore the name of the place is called Gilgal unto this day. Verse 10. And the children of Israel encamped in Gilgal, and kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month at evening in the plains of Jericho.
Praise Yah. Y'all see this? This is one of y'all Kardash convocation people. This is what we're supposed to keep forever.
Right.
Praise the mighty Yah. Continue, God.
Verse 11. And they did eat of the old corn of the land on the morrow after the Passover, unleavened cakes and parched corn in the selfsame day. Verse 12. And the manna ceased on the morrow after they had eaten of the old corn of the land.
This manna, see, this when he gave they ended the Shemayli food. But when they was in the wilderness, we was getting angels' food. That's what manna is.
Yeah.
Continue, our car.
Neither had the children of Israel manna any more, but they did eat of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year. Verse 13. And it came to pass when Yahshua was by Jericho that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there stood a man over against him with his sword drawn in his hand. And Yahshua went unto him and said unto him, Art thou for us or for our adversaries?
Look at that. This is what y'all had. Soldiers were. Y'all was saying he coming to our camp. Let me defend it. Continue, car.
Verse 14. And he said, Nay, but as the captain of the host of Yahweh am I now come. And Yahshua fell on his face to the earth and did worship, and said unto him, What saith my master unto his servant? Verse 15. And the captain of Yahweh's host said unto Yahshua, Loose thy shoe from off thy foot, for the place whereon thou standest is holy. And Yahshua did.
Praise
so.
y'all. Don't that sound familiar, y'all?
Yeah.
That was Moshe did it. He would say, y'all let him know you my man now. I'm finna do something through you for the name to go here. Yisrael, praise the mighty God. Let's go to chapter 6, verses 1 to 5. And it reads, whenever you have it.
Yahshua's chapter 6, verse 1. Now Jericho was straitly shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none came in.
Fear of us.
Verse 2. And Yahweh said unto Yahshua, See, I have given into thy hand Jericho and the king thereof and the mighty men of valor. Verse 3. And ye shall compass the city, and all ye men of war, and go round about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days. Verse 4. And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horn. And the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times, and the priest shall blow with the trumpet. Verse 5. And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall ascend up every man straight before him.
Praise Yahweh. This is what Yahweh asked them to do, but they knew this time come no joy that what Yahweh said to do. It looked silly and goofy to most people, but do what Yahweh asked you to do. It's something behind. And y'all see, as they blow the shofar, that's what these shofar we should have, Hebrew people, because there's a meaning behind all the going of it. Praise be to the mighty God.
That's right.
Let's skip down to verse 17 to 27. It reads whenever you have it. Verse 17 to 27.
Yahshua chapter 6, verse 17. And the city shall be accursed, even it and all that are therein, to Yahweh. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that were in her, that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. Verse 18. And ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed, when ye take of the accursed thing, and make the camp of Yisrael a curse and trouble it. Verse 19. But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto Yahweh. They shall come into the treasury of Yahweh. Verse 20. So the people shouted when the priest blew with the trumpet. And it came to pass when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. Verse 21. And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, and ox and sheep and donkey, with the edge of the sword.
Praise y'all. This may seem cool, but at this time, Yah was getting all them hata'ahs out of the way. And when he survived you, that's what he meant to do. Continue, Akab.
Verse 22. But Yahshua has said unto the two men that had spied out the country, go into the harlot's house and bring out thence the woman and all that she hath, as ye swear unto her. Verse 23. And the young men that were spies went in and brought out Rahab and her father and her mother and her brethren and all that she had. And they brought out all her kindred and left them without the camp of Israel.
Here it is. He said the young men. Because why? For disobedient, all the rest died in the wilderness.
Right,
so he had his fresh crew to bring up Yahshua. There was only two, him and Caleb, that was left. They bring up this young men. Praise be to Yahweh. Continue, Akab.
Verse 24. And they burnt the city with fire, and all that was therein, only the silver and the gold and the vessels of brass and of iron, they put into the treasury of the house of Yahweh. Verse 25. And Yahshua saved Rahab the harlot alive, and her Abba's household, and all that she had. And she dwelt in Yisrael even unto this day, because she hid the messengers which Yahshua sent to spy out Jericho. Verse 26. And Yahshua adjured them at that time, saying, Cursed be the man before Yahweh that riseth up and buildeth this city, Jericho. He shall lay the foundation thereof in his firstborn, and in his youngest son shall he set up the gates of it. Verse 27. So Yahweh was with Yahshua, and his fame was noised throughout all the country.
Praise the mighty Yahweh. When Yahweh with you, you will. You don't not recognize of you is for Yahweh. And y'all see, come to Yahweh as you are. You see, he used this harlot for his way thing. Come as you are to Yahweh. He can use you. He clean you up. You see, they wash themselves up, Jordan. He cleans you up. He cleans us all up to do his deed. Praise the mighty Yahweh. Let's go to chapter 7 and read verse 1 of God.
Okay. Yahshua chapter 7, verse 1. But the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing. For Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Yehudah, took of the accursed thing, and the anger of Yahweh was kindled against the children of Israel.
See, he foretold them. Yahshua told to do he said get rid of it, don't take anything. When you go against what thus said Yahweh, it's not a good thing. Let's skip down to verses 5 to 7, and it reads.
And the men of Iysh smote of them about 36 men, for they chased them from before the gate even unto Shebarim, and smote them in the going down. Therefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water. Verse 6. And Yahshua rent his clothes and fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of Yahweh until the eventide. He and the elders of Israel, and put dust upon their heads. And Yahshua, verse 7. And Yahshua said, Alas, O Yahweh Elohim, wherefore hast thou at all brought this people over Jordan to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites, to destroy us? Would to Elohim we had been content and dwelt on the other side of Jordan.
That's funny, y'all. Every time something go wrong, we want to blame Yahweh Hey, would it be better to go back into bondage and all that? No, he didn't know, but he knew something was wrong because it was promised victory. Praise the mighty Yahweh. Let's skip down to verses 10 to 13 and we'll find out. Praise the mighty Yahweh.
Yahshua chapter 7 verse 10. And Yahweh said unto Yahshua, Get thee up, wherefore liest thou thus upon thy face?
That's Yahweh say, get up. You a man of me, get up. Yeah, let me talk to you, continue.
Verse 11. Yisrael has sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them. For they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen and disassembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff. Verse 12. Therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you any more, except ye destroy the accursed from among you. Verse 13. Up, sanctify the people, and say, Sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. For thus saith Yahweh Elohim of Yisrael, There is an accursed thing in the midst of thee, O Yisrael. Thou canst not stand before thy enemy until ye take away the accursed thing from among you.
Praise the mighty Yahweh. You see, when Yahweh was ready to forgive you, he cleans you up. And he had high sea and hanging on you. Praise be to the mighty Yah. Let's skip down to verse 20 to 26. You read whenever you have.
Yahshua chapter 7, verse 20. And Achan answered Yahshua and said, Indeed I have sinned against Yahweh Elohim of Yisrael, and thus have I done. Verse 21. When I saw the spoils of goodly Babylonish garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. Verse 22. So Yahshua sent messengers, and they ran into the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. Verse 23. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Yahshua, and unto all the children of Yisrael, and laid them out before Yahweh. Verse 24. And Yahshua and all the Israel with him, and Yahshua and all the Israel with him took Achan the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his donkeys, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had, and they brought them into the valley of Achor. Verse 25. And Yahshua said, Why hast thou troubled us? Yahweh shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones, and burned them with fire, after they had stoned them with stones. Verse 26. And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. So Yahweh turned from the fierceness of his anger, wherefore the name of that place was called the Valley of Achor unto this day.
Praise Yahweh. See how you being disobedient, which it does. It trickle down on everyone that's close to you, being disobedient to Yah. It from all down to the Ishshah and to the band. It just trickles down. Any of us that disobedient, anyone that's around, you're going to have that effect. Let's go to chapter 8, verses 1 to 3. And it reads a couple whenever you have it.
Yahshua chapter 8, verse 1. And Yahweh said unto Yahshua, Fear not, neither be thou dismayed. Take all the people of war with thee, and arise and go up to Ai. See, I have given into thy hand the king of Ai, and his people, and his city, and his land. Verse 2. And thou shalt do to Ai and her king as thou didst unto Jericho and her king. Only the spoil thereof and the cattle thereof shall ye take for a prey unto yourselves. Lay thee an ambush for the city behind it. Verse 3. So Yahshua rose and all the people war to go up against Ai. And Yahshua chose out 30,000 mighty men of valor and sent them away by night.
Praise the mighty Yah. See, this promised land, y'all had to send y'all to go clean it up, meaning go kill some people. And when he say utterly destroy, he may have no high seed on man,
Right.
woman, or child. He was just animals, anything, until he tell you what you can have.
Right.
Praise be to the mighty Yah. Let's skip down to verse 24 to 27. And it reads whenever you have it.
Yahshua 8, chapter 24, verse 24. And it came to pass when Yisrael had made an end of slaying all the inhabitants of Ai in the field, in the wilderness wherein they chased them, and when they were all fallen on the edge of the sword, until they were consumed, that all the Israelites returned unto Ai, and smote it with the edge of the sword. Verse 25. And so it was that all that fell that day, both men and women, were 12,000, even all the men of Ai. Verse 26. For Yahshua drew not his hand back wherewith he stretched out the spear, until he had utterly destroyed all the inhabitants of Ai. Verse 27. Only the cattle and the spoils of that city Yisrael took for prey unto themselves, according unto the word of Yahweh, which he commanded Yahshua.
That's it. He told her to do it. And that's it. When y'all tell you can do have it, you can have it. And y'all see what he said in verse 21. He said, all the Israelites return until like our Micaiah would say, you only Israelite when that light shine. If not, you just straight Yisrael by birth. Yeah. Praise the mighty Yah.
Praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah. Let's skip down to verses 30 to 35, and it reads whenever you have it.
Okay. Yahshua chapter 8, verse 30. When Yahshua built an altar then Yahshua built an altar unto Yahweh Elohim of Yisrael in Mount Ebal. Verse 31. As Moshe the servant of Yahweh commanded the children of Israel, as it is written in the book of the law of Moshe, an altar of whole stones, over which no man had lifted up any iron, and they offered thereon burnt offerings unto Yahweh, and sacrificed peace offerings.
Praise Yahweh. See y'all, there's the Torah, but it's not the Torah of Moshe. Man, like to have that written for, they can have a leeway to do, oh, that's Moshe, that ain't Yah. No, it was given to Moshe by Yahweh.
Amen.
Praise the mighty Yah. And that's right, people. You must keep the Torah, the law. Hallelujah. That's how you're going to Shabbat you with judge with in the day of Shabbat. Praise the mighty Yah. Continue.
Verse 32. And he wrote there upon the stones a copy of the law of Moshe, which he wrote in the presence of the children of Israel. Verse 33. And all Israel and their elders and officers and their judges stood on this side of the ark, and on that side before the priests, the Levites, which bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, as well the stranger as he that was born among them, half of them over against Mount Gerizim, and half of them over against Mount Ebal, as Moshe the servant of Yahweh had commanded before, that they should bless the people of Israel. 34, verse 34. And afterward he read all the words of the law, the blessings and cursings, according to all that is written in the book of the law. Verse 35. There was not a word of all that Moshe commanded, which Yahshua read not before all the congregation of Israel, with the women and the little ones and the strangers that were conversant among them.
Praise Yahweh. See, this showing you. The Torah is for everybody.
Yeah.
Some of you don't understand. What is strangers? Them other people.
Yeah.
They were there. They came in to Yah's Torah. They were accepted. Praise Yahweh. Let's go to chapter 9, verses 1 to 9. And read the copy whenever you have.
Yahshua chapter 9, verse 1. And it came to pass when all the kings which were on this side of Jordan, in the hills and in the valleys, and in all the coasts of the great sea over against Lebanon, the Hittite, and the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite, heard thereof. Verse 2. That they gathered themselves together to fight with Yahshua and with Yisrael with one accord. Verse 3. And when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Yahshua had done unto Jericho and to Ai, verse 4, they did work willingly and went and made as if they had been ambassadors, and took old sacks upon their donkeys and wine bottles, old and rent and bound up. Verse 5, and old shoes and clouded upon their feet, and old garments upon them, and all the bread of their provision was dry and moldy. Verse 6, and when they went to Yahshua unto the camp at Gilgal, and said unto him and to the men of Israel, we be come from a far country, now therefore make ye a league with us. Verse 7, and the men of Israel said unto the Hivites, peradventure ye dwell among us, how shall we make a league with you? Verse 8, and they said unto Yahshua, we are thy servant. And Yahshua said unto them, who are ye, and from whence ye come? And from whence come ye? Verse 9, and they said unto him, from a very far country thy servants have come because of the name of Yahweh thy Elohim. For we have heard the fame of him and all that he did in Mizraim.
Praise Yahweh. Y'all see here, they were afraid, so they came with a lie. They was fearing for their lives. So they like to say, they heard the kabod of Yahweh. So praise be to Yahweh. Let's go to chapter 10, verses 1 to 2. And it reads whenever you have the copy.
Yahshua chapter 10, verse 1. Now it came to pass when Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, had heard how Yahshua had taken Ai and had utterly destroyed it, that he had, as he had done to Jericho and her king, so he had done to Ai and her king, and how the inhabitants of Gibeon had made peace with Yisrael and were among them. Verse 2. That they feared greatly because Gibeon verse 2, okay. That they feared greatly because Gibeon was a great city, as one of the royal cities, and because it was greater than Ai, and all the men thereof were mighty.
They like, hey, if they join with them, what chance do we have? We gotta, like always today, they always conspire to go against Israel from then to now. It's nothing changed, just a different time. Let's skip down to verses 6 to 8, and it reads whenever you have it.
Yahshua chapter 10, verse 6. And the men of Gibeon sent unto Yahshua to the camp to Gilgal, saying, Slack not thy hand from thy servants. Come up to us quickly and save us and help us, for all the kings of the Amorites that dwell in the mountains are gathered together against us. Verse 7. So Yahshua ascended from Gilgal, he and all the people of war with him, and all the mighty men of valor. Verse 8. And Yahweh said unto Yahshua, Fear them not, for I have delivered them into thy hand. There shall not a man of them stand before thee.
Praise the mighty Yah. You see that? You stand for those that Yahweh. He fights your battle. He did all this. Let's go skip down to verses 10 to 14. And he reads a couple.
Chapter 10, Yahshua chapter 10, verse 10. And Yahweh discomfited them before Yisrael, and slew them with a great slaughter at Gibeon, and chased them along the way that goeth up to Beth Horon, and smote them to Azekah, and unto Makkedah. 11. And it came to pass, as they fled from before Yisrael, and were in the going down to Beth Horon, that Yahweh cast down great stones from heaven upon them unto Azekah, and they died. They were more which died with hailstones than they whom the children of Israel slew with the sword.
Look at that, y'all. Look at that. Y'all fighting for them. And he throwing from Shemayim, heaven down, throwing stones down on them. Ain't that's something? That's all you got to do is stand for thus says Yahweh. And he will fight your battle. Continue, God.
Verse 12. Then spake Yahshua to Yahweh in the day when Yahweh delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Yisrael, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon, in the valley of Ajalon. Verse 13. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people have avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day.
Praise Yahweh. This is something how Yah hearkened to and regular Adam, that he gave him a shell that had to say to the moon to stand still while they had.
Father, please take me higher in thinking revelation and spiritual fire.